Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today we are looking at part 2 of the hospital build that I released the other day, and this time we're going inside. That's right, it's a furnishing video. I went ahead and left, like the majority of the floor planning of this in there. I know normally recently I've been cutting it out, but figured, it's kind of like a bigger build, and also like these special lots like the doctor's office, the hospital, the science lab, and the police station, they all have a lot of required rooms and spaces in order to function. So I figured, maybe it'd be helpful if you're building your own to see how I kind of planned things. I don't know, I did it. If you don't like it, just let me know. Be like, hey, this sucks, don't do that again, and I'll be like, oh no, I'm sorry, and I probably won't do it again. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Just communicate with me is what I'm saying. But yeah, here I'm just kind of segmenting things off. I went and I looked at the original hospital build for reference as far as how many of each thing, how many hospital beds, how many x-ray machines, and how many chemical analyzers, all that kind of thing that I needed. And so I used that, and also I tested the heck out of this build. So hopefully if you guys use it, you shouldn't run into anything. Although, if you have any experience with, replacing the special lots, they have a tendency to be a little glitchy. So I don't know. Hopefully it's cool. I tried. I tried my darndest. I also put in 3 distinct bathrooms in this, just kind of throughout the build, just because I think that it's really frustrating, at least in the original hospital build, because there's I think there's either 1 or 2, but they're kind of hard to get to. So if your Sims needs are low, or also I think one of the things that it makes you do is wash your hands, just as a thing you have to do during the work day. And if you have to go all the way across the hospital to do that, it's really obnoxious to me. So, you have easy access to the bathroom is all I'm saying. So you're good. You can see here, I'm just putting in 1 item in each room, and that's just so that I know what I planned on making each room. I can see, oh yeah, that's the gym. Oh, this is going to be, the little lab, and, all that kind of thing. So that's what's going on there. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell, but my voice is a little bit wild today. 2 days ago, I worked 16 hours at my job, and it was wild, and my voice was gone. Just because, oh my gosh, when I'm at work, I'm literally just talking constantly to everybody, and also I'm a loudmouth. I'm always just hi, yelling across the restaurant. So, it's a little bit shot, and I worked yesterday. So, long story short, my voice might be a little bit weirder than usual, but I promise it's me. I'm okay. I'm not sick. That's just what's going on. But yeah, I actually had a pretty wild weekend this weekend. Lots of working, but it was actually my last day at my current job, or my, past job. It's done now. I had my last time yesterday, and it was bittersweet. I obviously put in my 2 weeks a couple weeks ago, and I've been there for so long, and it felt right. You felt right to move on. It was weird because I was very comfortable there, but sometimes you gotta do stuff that scares you so you can improve, and you can meet new people, and you can learn new skills, and it's just, you gotta take risks and do that. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I did. But it was really cute, actually. I have a lot of regulars, people who come into the bar a lot, and I know them and they know me. It's really cute. That's one of the things I like about bartending, and I saw so many of them. It was so sweet. One of them messaged me on Instagram and was like, when are you working? I need to see you before you leave. And I hung out with her and her boyfriend, and they bought me drinks, and it was just really cute and wholesome, and I cried. But it was nice. I don't know, it was really sweet. And I know that, like, I don't know, I'll see them around. It's just kind of the nature of things, see people around town. So I'm not too worried about it, but it is going to be weird. It's going to be a change of pace. But I'm looking forward to the next job. It's going to be really cool. You can see here I am making the very, very first doctor's office. I did a lot of copy pasting in this. And I normally like prefer to make it seem like each room is very distinct, but I justified it in this build because I feel like in a very commercial lot like this, it doesn't make a lot of sense that every doctor's office would be drastically different from the other ones, you know? So, I mean, there was like slight setup differences, like the window was like in a slightly different spot and the posters are in a slightly different spot and that kind of thing, but I don't know. I felt like it made sense for them to be pretty uniform, so that's what I did. If you feel like I feel like it could be cute if you end up like using this hospital to play in, like if you made one of the rooms like your doctor's tech office or whatever, exam room. You could put like little knickknacks or things that, you know, represent your doctor. That could be cute, but I don't know. Otherwise, I feel like I never really did that when I was playing with it because I don't know. I mean, in the hospital, oh my gosh, in the medical career, you end up going into all the different little checkup rooms anyway, so it's, I don't know, it's not a huge deal to me. I figure if they all look the same, it doesn't really bother me. It's not like I'm getting all up in there. Oh, this was an interesting challenge for me. So there's a lot of hallway space in this build, which kind of makes sense just because, you know, you gotta get through all the different rooms, you know, like a hallway. But I didn't want them to look completely barren just because I don't know, it seemed weird. Obviously, like, a lot of this build feels very sterile, but I don't know. I wanted it to feel warm enough. Like, I think a lot of architects or otherwise designers put a lot of effort into hospitals nowadays so they don't feel too cold. Because, you know, it is like, no one wants to be at a hospital. You know, you try to make it feel a little bit warm and welcoming. So you'll see later, I also tried to achieve that by putting wood in the hallways, and I put a lot of plants around the place and just kind of warmed things up. I think it makes it look a lot nicer to be in. So hopefully you agree. I think it looked really nice. I also put a lot of these little almost like offices around. So there's two right next to each other on this side, and then there's like a one larger office on the other side. And those are the only places where I put computers in this build, or at least computers that your Sims can use, just because I kind of liked the look of it. I liked the idea that, you know, like if your Sim's gonna go do research or something, they'd go and retreat back to their office. I don't know. I thought that made sense. Just because otherwise I don't think the Sims would ever use these spaces if there were computers in the same rooms as the checkup spaces. So I don't know, I did that. But if you find that your Sim is doing too much walking and wasting too much time getting around, like, you know, you could change it up. That's your prerogative. You can do it. I thought this was fine. So this is another example of kind of copying over the rooms. Again, you know, you can do your own thing. I think that maybe this specific room I could have, you know, made a little bit more personal just because it is an office. And I don't know, this one is definitely like pretty different than the other ones. I just kind of like switched up a couple of colors on some of the items in the other two, but whatever. It seemed fine to me. So if it bothers you, you can mess with it. But I don't know, they're like 3x3 rooms. They're very small, so there's not tons of room for decoration and personalization. So do what works for you. I also put a lot of those like little handicap bar rails throughout the hallways, just kind of give it a little bit more decoration. And here you can see I'm working on the front lobby. Actually, this might be one of my favorite rooms. I was really pleased with how it turned out. I was a little daunted by it at first. I was worried that I made it way too big of a room, but it ended up being just fine. Totally perfect for what it's supposed to be. And I think it looks really cool because it's in this 2-story, almost like atrium with all this like glass going through into it. So there's a lot of really beautiful lighting. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah, I kept running into problems where there's like a lot of specific items that you need for the hospital, but I couldn't figure out where to get them, like, because they're all on like hidden items, and I don't know, they're just a real pain in the butt to find. So a couple times I think during this you'll see me go into, you know, like the gallery and just find like a lobby or whatever, just to find like one specific item. I think there I was looking for the front desk, and at another time I was like trying to find the x-ray machines. So I don't know how much of that I kept in the video. Oh my gosh, I'm stuttering. I gotta get my voice together, man. But you know, you'll see. It's fine. That's what that is. So don't be alarmed if you see me like pop in the gallery real quick. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, just kind of like getting that back of the front desk together. Oh my gosh. Okay, this part. I felt like a crazy person trying to get the little queue line ready. But I couldn't for the life of me figure out how it was supposed to look. For some reason, like, this design of the ropes just looked so weird to me, and I was like, how are those normally set up so that you go in a zigzag? Am I crazy? And actually, later the day that I built this, I ended up going to a movie. I forget what movie it was. Oh, I don't remember. Was it Incredibles 2? Might have been Incredibles 2. I don't know. Whatever. I saw a movie later. And I, you know, when you go to buy a movie ticket, there you go through a line like this. And the whole time I was just like kind of like scoping it out. And I was like, how do they do this? How do I make it look good in The Sims? And I think I like go back later and fix it. So I was inspired by real life, or I guess directed by real life. So that worked out pretty well. I just kind of like set out all these plants here because I knew I wanted to have a lot of greenery, and this is kind of where I started trying to lighten up the place. You can see I put in those blue curtains, and I don't know, it all felt so like monochromatic and sterile and weird, and I wanted it all to feel better. So I got out a bunch of plants, and I tried to inject some color. You can see I already like put the wood around the place. I think that did leaps and bounds for, you know, the look of this place. So hopefully you agree. And I really liked those little round little trees. I don't think I've ever used them before. In fact, I know I haven't, because I like just got that stuff pack recently, and I was like, what a perfect plant for a commercial lot. It looks so it's so perfect. It's so that like fake tree that you just see everywhere. It was perfect. I was so excited about it. So I made the left side of this lobby just kind of like a I don't know, regular waiting room. And then I realized when I got to the other side, because I was just gonna copy it over and make them look the same, but I realized when I got to the other side, I should probably have some like kids stuff. Not that anyone that comes into the hospital ever really uses it, and it's not like if you're going to have a baby you're gonna use it, but I don't know, there was like a little play area in the original hospital, and so I felt like it made sense to have a similar space in my version of the hospital. So I don't know, I did that. You'll see me in a second right here just kind of putting some kid stuff. Also, it's very ironic because I definitely put a lot of toddler items, and I don't think you can even bring toddlers to a hospital. Like, they don't spawn as sick patients, and I don't think you can bring them along if you have a baby. I mean, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's true. So, you know, there's just some useless items for you, for your pleasure. There you go. Here's one of the first bathrooms. They all pretty much look the same. I thought about going a little bit more in depth with them, but I don't know. It's a hospital bathroom, man, you know? Like, I figured if it's a little bit cold and just under decorated, it's fine by me. Oh, you can see here, that's where I fixed the fences. That must have been when I got back from the movie and was like, yeah, perfect. I know what I'm doing. So I don't know. it's fine. I mean, it's just like minimally decorated. I didn't put like any like rugs or plants in there. It didn't seem like it made sense. So I don't know. It's fine. It's a bathroom. What are you gonna do? It fills the need. So yeah, there's two up in the front there coming off of the lobby, and then there's one over here by the offices, and then there's one on the other side next to the lab. So hopefully, you know, that should be a-okay for you, and you won't have to walk too far from wherever you're starting. Yeah. Oh, do I move to the lab next? Oh, I think that might be my second favorite room. I really like how it looked. I ended up, this was another example of me going on to the gallery to kind of like pull items, and oh my gosh, I found this one lab that someone made, and it was just so cool. I was so inspired by there was so many things that the person who made it did that I wanted to do. This one here, oh my gosh, oh man, I'm gonna have to like try to pause that video so I can like find the creator and link it. So remind me if I don't do that to do it, because I really want to do that. This lab that they made is so cool to me. I think it looks so good. It made me want to make a science lab next. So I think I'm probably gonna make like a couple houses, and then maybe I'll like try to furnish a science lab, because I wanted to do a lot of things with this one, but you know, as I was doing it, I was like, this doesn't really look like it fits in a hospital. So maybe tone it back a little bit, maybe make it look a little less crazy, but oh my gosh, I think it'd be so much fun to make. I also found a lot of these items, like that little cart, just looked like they made a lot of sense to just have around, because you know, in a hospital there's always just like little carts full of like medical supplies and stuff, I don't know, just going all around. So just going all around, you know. Just, I don't know, strewn about. I'm sure there's a lot of order to it that I don't understand. So I put that in there. I actually put a couple of them just like in the hallway, almost decoratively, and I think it looks really nice. It really filled out the space. So hopefully you're down with that. Here is a little staff room, and oh my gosh, I got bowling stuff. Fast lane. Oh no, the bowling stuff pack with all the mid-century modern furniture. You know what I'm talking about. I don't, but you do. I got that recently, and I was so pumped because I got to use like all the like chairs and tables and all that stuff in this little like staff lounge, and it looked so good. I was so pumped. I love the idea of them just like hiring like a designer to create like a nice little communal space for all the doctors, and I was just like, it looks so good. I was actually a little inspired. I used to work at a suicide hotline, and there was like a little staff spot in, because it was like based in a mental hospital, and there was a little staff spot that was kind of like this. This is way better looking than the one that they had, but the little coffee area and the little couch area are kind of similar. So I drew some inspiration from that, and it was fun. I don't know. I always thought when I used to work at the hotline that it would be so much fun to decorate a space like that, because apparently right before I started working there, they had hired an interior designer to liven up the space, because the hotline that you work at, or that I worked at rather, was just in this like itty bitty kind of little closet tucked away. I mean, which makes sense, because obviously like they want to be able to maximize the amount of things they can do with their space, and you know, the hotline, you're not actually like interacting with patients face to face, you're, you know, on the phone, so they don't need you to take up a ton of space. So but anyway, someone had decorated it right before I started volunteering there, and I don't know, they did like, I'm sure it looked a lot better than it had looked, but they used like just like this weird dingy brown a lot, and in such a small space. I was like, I could have done better than this. I mean, I didn't say that, but I was like, I would love to decorate this. I feel like there's so much wasted potential. I don't know, I'm just a weirdo, and I like to decorate, so I don't know. I've thought that before. Also, I don't know, they put all these little quotes on the walls with these like decals and stuff, and maybe they had a low budget or something, but I was just like, I don't know, this could look a lot better. Oh yeah, I put on a little gym here. I didn't realize until I like went back and looked at the original hospital, but there's like a little workout area. And I was like, I guess I can put one in. And honestly, it worked out really well because I was not really sure what I was going to do with this space otherwise. So I did that, threw a couple of yoga mats in. I made these little like pseudo locker room areas going into it. So kind of looks nice, pretty good there. And this is, just me filling out the hallway, making it look a little bit less bare because, I don't know, I didn't want it to just be like these giant empty spaces. That looks like kind of what EA would build. Sorry, EA. Oh, these are the surgery rooms. I had to test these a lot. I made minor tweaks to them from what you're seeing in the video, just because I went a little hog wild with decorating them, and I think they look really good, but I put way too many things into them and you couldn't use the surgery tables correctly, so I had to redo it a little bit. But if you download it off of the gallery, it basically looks exactly like this, just some of the items are like squished a little bit more to the wall or whatever, and it's functional, so that's nice. You can use it. What an idea. Oh yeah, also I realized about here in the build that the cats and dogs, I was like, I wanted that little cart you can see right there with the clipboard on it and the dog treats, but ignore those. I realized, what a perfect item to have in the hospital. And I was like, there's all these other vet clinic items that aren't, super apparently made for animals and you could definitely use. And so I pulled them all out and started using them, and it was so perfect. Because I don't know, I felt like I was using a lot of the same items over and over again, and to be fair, that kind of is true in a hospital. There's a lot of the same stuff everywhere, but I don't know, I think it enhanced the look of everything. It looks way better. So yeah, it was just exciting. And I put those little mats underneath the surgery tables. Don't know if those exist in real life, but thought it looked good, so I did it. Oh yeah, and I put those little baby, what are they called, bassinets? I think those might be the alien ones technically, or maybe they're just the hospital ones. I don't know. I'll put them there. I don't know if it will glitch out if you have a baby in this hospital. That's the one thing I didn't test. So hopefully that doesn't affect it. I can't imagine that it would, because I'm pretty sure it just spawns a new one of those little bassinets when you have a baby. But I guess if you run into any issues with that, maybe you just take them out and, leave it blank and it should be better. So that's my recommendation. Sorry for not testing that. I honestly literally just thought of it right now. So, whoops. But it's probably fine. Yeah, this is another example of just like, I don't know, a computer that looked good to have there, but I didn't want, Sims to, I don't know, I didn't want Sims to type there. In my mind, this was kind of like a little testing area, and so you like had to go through that little lobby, that second lobby to get in here. So I wanted there to be a computer, but I also didn't want my Sims to use that computer, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm a weirdo. So I did that. I blocked it off. Yeah, things are kind of coming to a close here. Also, my my throat is just, it's just hurting y'all. So I'm probably just gonna tap out a little bit early if that's okay. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'll have another video out this week. I hope you like the hospital. Let me know if you use it. I would be really pleased as punch if you do. So just like leave a comment on the download page or something, or on this video. Let me know how you like it, and let me know if you run into any issues, and just tell me how you're doing. But yeah, have a great day, you guys, and give me any feedback you want. And here's me saying goodbye for the 20th time. Goodbye.